Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at a new trademark that's gone and been filed for Pokemon over in Japan. It's his Celebration Collection, and it has been filed in the same kind of place where we generally see new trading card game sets filed. This does not guarantee or confirm it is going to be a new Pokemon TCG set, but it does seem to make it pretty likely. It's called Celebration Collection, and we need to start off with a little bit of a caveat here. And that is, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know I've been doing this for a while, talking about new TCG sets and things like that. You'll know my hit rate is pretty good. You'll also know that I'm very, very careful when I tell you about this stuff to caveat it and let you know exactly what the deal is and tell you that we need to be a little bit careful before we jump in and make guarantees. I am seeing a lot of people online in the past few hours who are not doing this, who are sharing this trademark and making wild claims without saying, but we need to just kind of wait and see what happens. It's probably a TCG set, but it could be something else. For instance, remember when we talked about the Battle Academy? That was a trademark that was filed in Japan in exactly the same way. And I told you the Battle Academy looked like a new set, but there was no guarantee it could in fact be something more akin to our Battle Academy. And that is exactly what happened. It turned out that the Battle Academy was a sealed product with a bunch of beginner level decks, very much in line with our Battle Academy. It could have been a new set. It was filed in a way that looked like a new set, and it was filed in the way that a new set would have been. But it turned out it was a set of decks very much like ours. So yes, Celebration Collection looks like a new TCG set. Yes, it absolutely could be a new TCG set. But please be careful. I am seeing people sharing speculation as if it is fact, and that is not what we've got here. We have a trademark. Everything else is speculation. Please be careful. Now, with that preamble out of the way, come on, 30th anniversary. I'm not saying it has to be the 30th anniversary, but I'm also saying 30th anniversary. Remember the other day we saw the first anniversary product, the Pokemon Day 2026 collection, and that did actually come with a Pokemon Day coin and a Pokemon Day stamped Pikachu, and it had the Pikachu with 30 cheeks on it. And yes, we have seen that Pikachu logo before. Now, obviously we didn't see it with that, but we saw it with Celebrations, which was the 25th anniversary set, and had the exact same kind of logo, your featureless Pikachu face with 2 and 5 as the cheeks, rather than 3 and 0. And yes, right now you're probably making a connection between the Celebration Collection logo, or trademark, and the fact that we had Celebrations as our 25th anniversary set. And although it's not guaranteed and we shouldn't treat it like it is a very, very fair assumption to make. To be clear, I do think this is a 30th anniversary set, and I absolutely think that that is a fair assumption to make. But there is a very big difference between saying it's probably the 30th anniversary set, but we need to be sure, and saying Celebration Collection is coming, it's the 30th anniversary set. Those two are not the same. It's not confirmed to be a TCG set, even though I've seen several people describing it as such. So let's assume it is Celebrations. What could it be? Well, I can't tell you because we don't know. What I can do, however, is I can show you the kind of things that Pokemon have done for this kind of stuff in the past. And we can extrapolate from there. Like, if we take Celebrations, I loved Celebrations. Celebrations was awesome. Firstly, now we had a very small main set, and it was basically just bunch of legendary Pokemon. But they were pairing them up and getting the same artist to do them, which I thought was absolutely wonderful. So you had Kyogre and Groudon, both of which done by Fuse, and looking absolutely redonkulous. We had Reshiram and Zekrom, very much coming through as a pair here, same art style, done by Kasube here, and just looking like an absolutely brilliant pair. And then they kind of threw in Flying and Surfing Pikachu V Max, and a Gold Mew. And it was cool. I loved what they did with that set. But then they brought in the Classic Collection, where they basically brought in the most iconic cards. So they gave us, for instance, Team Magma's Groudon, incredibly iconic. They gave us Shining Magikarp as an iconic card, and Cleffa. But then they went weird with stuff like Birthday Pikachu. But then they gave us Mega Rayquaza. And then they just, Garchomp C-Level X. They kind of went crazy, giving us all of these iconic cards throughout the year. And they gave us 25 because it was the 25th anniversary. So could they give us a set of 30 reprint cards done all specially again? Yes, they could. Will they? No idea. But it does seem like a fairly sensible thing for them to do. But then they went further, because you have a look at the kind of products they did. We had the Dragapult Prime collection. So, whereas Primes are the Heart Gold Soul Silver era, long before Dragapult was ever a thing, they came with Dragapult Prime. It was a nice little touch. I thought it was awesome. We had a Zacian Level X. Level X's were Gen 4. Zacian's Gen 8. Zacian was never getting a Level X before, but they came back and did it this time. And what they did with these products was wonderful. And the thing about Celebrations, and why I love that set so much, is it really felt, and this is going to sound cheesy, but it's true, it felt like a celebration. Giving us a 25 card set of legendary Pokemon was a genius touch. Giving us reprints of 25 iconic cards from throughout the years was a brilliant touch. Giving us new Pokemon in the style of old cards was a genius touch. And I do think Celebration was a set that, if you're an old head like me, if you've been around for a while, I do think it was a set that hit differently, but I think it was a phenomenal set regardless. If we go 5 years further back, we end up at Generations. Now, Generations was great. Let's be 100% clear. Generations was an awesome set. Was Generations as good? Short answer, I don't think it was. I don't think Generations was as good. We had a bunch of cool stuff. If you were around at the time, you'll remember the rush for Jolteon EX. It was a small set and kind of a special set, but Jolteon was kind of busted. But it's kind of like a reprint set with a bunch of new stuff, but some of the new stuff was like Golem EX, which I liked, and I pulled an Italian one. What was really cool about Generations was it came out right as I was starting casting. In my very first events at German and Italian nationals, I was running around trying to find this product in stores in Germany and Italy. So I kind of have really fun memories of this set. And remember, we did have, at the end of the set, we had that little subset. It was called the Radiant Collection. So in the same way there was that little subset of classic cards in Celebrations, in Generations we did get this little subset. And to be fair, it was awesome. Because, we had the whole Charizard line, which has become an iconic line of cards. We had a pile of Pikachu and a beautiful Flareon and this Sylveon, and it was a really cool set, and it was lovely, and everybody loved it. Didn't hit as hard as Celebrations, but the Radiant Collection was pretty cool. And then there were just a bunch of fancy products, like the Mewtwo Mew Premium Collection, which came with an art book, which was frankly ridiculous, and I loved it. There were smaller products like the Charizard EX box, which looks like an EX box nowadays. The Red and Blue collections with your Pikachu promo and figure and all of that. It was a very, very cool set. I don't think it was as good as Celebrations, but it was very, very cool. The thing is, we can look at these sets side by side and we can go, well, hang on a second. They both had this special kind of subset at the end. They both really went for fancy products. And they both really tried to be kind of a celebratory set. Rather than really trying to push forward playability-wise, it was really kind of trying to celebrate the Pokemon TCG. It is the 30th anniversary. We know they're doing something. Seriously, we've already seen one product, although it's not for this set, it's just a celebration product generally. But still, and this seems to be our celebration set for the 30th anniversary. Please remember it's not confirmed. Please remember that it is not guaranteed. But it does seem pretty likely, and it does get me pretty excited. So there we go, that's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Derek, who's been a supporter of us for a long time now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.